There's this one story about a woman years ago. I don't even know who it is. And I think a pastor was telling a story about a woman whose husband was verbally abusive, and he would fuss at her and cuss at her and make my dinner or whatever. And she always wanted to go to church. So one day she went to church, and when she came back, the doors were locked. He locked the door on her, and so she had to sleep in the car overnight. And then that morning she got up. Her husband opened the door, let her in. She came in the house, and she immediately went in the kitchen and made him breakfast and served him. Now I know that is crazy, but she actually did that, and through that he actually got saved. Now, I ain't saying some of y'all go through that. That's between you and the Lord. But I'm just saying her act of service, the way she carried herself, the way she modeled Christianity, it saved her husband. And so that's what we're saying. And you can't just preach at the guy or gal, whoever that is. You got to show him Christ. Yeah. And so that alone will cause them to see what you're talking about. But even though you could serve, I just want to say, just because you're praying and you're serving and doing all these things correctly, at the end of the day, that person does have to choose. This is not a guarantee they'll be saved. This is not a guarantee that your marriage is going to come together, because God's not going to force anybody to serve him. But it's the best way to represent Christ. It's the best way to give that person an opportunity to accept the Father, because they know there's something changed about you. Yeah.
And I don't know if this is off subject, but I think Christians, we have a bad rep.
Oh, for sure.
I think people, there are people who say they're believers, they're Christians, and they live contrary to what. Now, we're not saying that you have to be perfect. Now, there are just some things, because even for us, there are some things that we don't have an issue with. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have an issue with having a drink. I don't have an issue with it. I don't. Alcohol is not a stronghold. Is not something a stronghold for me. I can take it or leave it, or I can socially do it, whatever. But there are people who have an issue with drinking, and so for me, it's like, I remember asking my dad about it. He was like, "Well, I don't have an issue with it, but I won't do it in front of people because I don't know if they have an issue with it." So I would say, like, if you're trying to model for your spouse, we're not saying that you can't do anything. You got to be perfect or whatever, but you just have to be true and genuine to your walk. And if you know that your spouse struggles with certain things, you may not want to do that. So, like, if let's say your spouse has a problem with drinking, you don't. You just said you're gonna be a follower of Christ. Well, I'm just gonna still drink with him. You probably shouldn't do that, because he has an issue with it. You